Welcome, everybody, to the Infernal Brotherhood of the Scruffy-looking Nerfers. This is a live streaming Star Wars video podcast by Star Wars fans for Star Wars fans, and today we're going to be continuing our review of the Star Wars novels, or the Han Solo novels, whatever. We're talking about Han Solo's Revenge today, everybody. The not even remotely close to Empire of the Han Solo books.
This whole novel, the entire premise, is based on Han Solo wanting 10,000 credits for something that he did not do. Mm-hmm. That's it.
Yep. Have
a great night, everyone.
Yeah, it was definitely a whole lot of, yep, this is going to lead into the next one.
Yeah. See, I've never read the next one, so I don't know, but this was
I haven't
weird.
read. Yeah, I haven't either. But it's like where the last book felt like, you know, what the first Star Wars was, where it's a complete story. It could be by itself, and that's it. This is just, it's filler.
Yeah. For
the next novel. Like really can be boiled down to like 3 different things, and it was okay, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, those are sort of my initial impressions too. It was like, okay, this is like laying the groundwork to really prove that Han Solo is a scoundrel. Mm-hmm. But he still got a little bit of loving for, you know, the ladies and stuff. And it even like suggested like, someday you're going to find a woman that's worth settling down for. And he's like, harumph.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought that was a little odd.
We're like, yeah, we know. We've seen Star Wars.
Right.
We get it. We get what you're
Leia's
trying
so
to do.
Better. God damn it.
Oh my gosh. Yes. All right. So, well, let's talk about this because this was, while it wasn't as, in my opinion, exciting as the first novel in this trilogy, the Han Solo trilogy, it was still kind of interesting. I mean,
it was fun. It was fun.
I thought the idea of, so it starts where Han Solo is on this world where he's really just trying to fix up the Falcon, mm-hmm. and he's sort of hoodwinked the locals into watching projected films that they think is a religious experience, and he thinks is just, you know, like
he's just like,
drive-in.
Man, they fucking love this shit. But he's showing a bunch of just barely sentient creatures on a desert planet, a lush water planet. Yeah. And of course, because they're primitive, they're like, oh, well, he's showing us the afterlife. So they're giving him all kinds of like shit to, you know, it's basically like their money. And yeah, he finally is like, cool, I'm going to get another holovid and it's going to blow their fucking mind because it's not going to be God, what was it? It was like it was almost like a brochure type of video.
I don't even remember what it was.
I'm drawing a blank.
It was 2 weeks ago this.
I killed this shit in like 3 days, so I just barely finished it yesterday, so I should have it fresh in my mind. You know what?
You should.
Pull up my notes. Sorry, guys, we're running behind because somebody fucked up.
It's okay. This is live.
Yeah, it's live. It's cool. I don't even remember what the hell it was. It was basically like an advertisement type of thing. Yeah. And yeah, he was just like, cool, they should need some actual entertainment. Puts on a real movie and they're like, what the fuck is this? And start throwing shit around. They getting
straight up rioted.
Yeah, it was
like he was showing racial propaganda or something.
Yeah. Yeah, straight up.
Shit apart. Like he had this old friend of his or an old connection of his named Soniode. He's just a former smuggler and bootlegger that he knew. And he was like, yeah, hey, thanks for getting me this video. This is going to go great. And the guy's like, are you sure? Because this doesn't seem to make any sense to me. And he's like, no, they love it. Yeah. It turns out like these, the species is a Camarian or something like that.
That sounds right.
Bitchin' Camario, Ian, something like that. They drive across people's lawns. It's crazy. So like they're watching something and there's like a high priest that's gone out of this whole thing, and he's like instructing all of the other species or all the other people of the species, like, you know, this is like our afterlife and stuff. Like shit you would never even in your right mind think that, hey, this is something that people are just going to think is like an afterlife.
Yeah.
And yet, that's exactly what fucking happened. And I think arguably that's the best part of this, is because this is before Return of the Jedi. So there was no C-3PO being a golden god at this point. You know, like primitive species thinking these other species are gods. This is Han fucking Solo just trying to make a little bit of Skrilla on the back of some like barely sentient species. And he's doing a pretty good job.
He was doing a killing. Because it was a few weeks or a few months or some shit that he was doing that, and they were there every single night. And he's just like, God, they really love this shit.
Yeah, it was so funny. Hey, Chris, thanks for tuning in, man. Yeah, so like they show that they riot against him, and he's like, fuck, Chewie, let's get the hell out of here. We're all gonna die. And right before they played that film, Sunnyode, I can't say this dude's name, Sunnyode.
It's a weird one. Like, there's a lot of really weird ones in here that, of course, reading it, it's like, oh, well, obviously that's what this is. And then you try to say it, and it sounds like you're trying to deep throat a hammer or something.
Yeah, which I may or may not have done recently.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
It was a beautiful looking hammer. All right, I'm on defense. So, like, he told him about, it's a good thing you got a gig here because, I was just coming to tell you, there's like some weird sector jobs in open space. They didn't give any information. I didn't know if you were hard up enough to go for that, but I was just going to warn you not to do that. And Han Solo's like, I got a gig here. Don't even worry about it. I'm not stupid enough to do a job like that anyway.
Yeah.
Cut to running away from these aliens before they tear apart their ship and their limbs and fly into space. They need repairs for the Falcon from the last book. They still have the badass droids, Bollux and the Blue Max. Which is, I don't even know. It reminds me of an 80s fucking cartoon or something.
Yeah, straight up. I mean, it's just fucking Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's Krang.
Yes, it is definitely Krang. Except I think cooler because they're on the good side, not the bad side. Which is weird because I actually really like the bad guy. Like in almost every case, I like the bad guys. So
yeah. I mean, of course, it's funny, and that was a hard line to toe in this book, was who you like, because it's like, all right, are they good, or are they bad, and do I care?
Well, I think, and that's the strength of Han Solo, right? He's a scoundrel. He doesn't want to help the rebellion. He needs to make some money. He doesn't care about anyone else. He just wants to finish the job to move on to the next thing, which is usually repairing the Falcon from the previous fucking job.
Yeah, and that's kind of the whole plight of this book too, was trying to convert everything back to regular shit instead of fluidics.
Yeah, and
he's just constantly bitching about it. It's so funny.
It's great. And so ultimately, of course, they have no prospects. They have no money. They have to take the job that they were warned not to fucking take.
Yep.
Which any smuggler in their right mind would never take.
Yeah, of course, because it's like, oh, no context, no nothing, just a set of coordinates. Yeah, that's totally not terrible.
Great idea.
Yeah. Turns out it was slavers. And that was pretty badass, though, I will say, because I mean, of course, we all know, like in hindsight,
slavery is good.
Much he hates. Well,
I'm sorry, I misunderstood. I thought we were going the same place.
I mean, close.
It's my bad.
It's because I don't have hair now, isn't it? Yeah. So of course, he's very adamant, like anti-slavery, because I mean, I guess it hadn't come out at this point, but in Legends, that's how him and Chewie met, was they're locked up and all that shit, blah blah blah. But yeah, he's like getting ready to fucking take on a whole bunch of slavers that are getting ready to board his shit, and yeah, it's like that. He's a fucking badass. Just two people against an entire crew of slaves.
Well, and this is the thing, is they straight up like strong arm him, force him to take the job even when he didn't want to anymore, because it's slavery and no one fucking is down with that. Except there's a lot of money in it, and so some people are in for it. And it's wildly illegal, even in Coruscant. And this is what I love so much about this trilogy thus far, is that there's no empire that they're dealing with. It's all corporate security, police, and stuff.
Yeah. It shows you how big the galaxy is, better than I think they've been able to do in modern canon, to be honest. 100%. Because like they do talk about the empire and stuff, and the relevance of the empire, but this is so far outside of the empire that they're not even a fucking footnote. Yeah. So I love that. Yeah,
absolutely. Arguably one of the best parts of this is that we get a focus on like just a crazy smuggler adventure in a galaxy far, far away, rather than worrying about, earth-shattering events around the chosen one.
Yeah.
It's nice to just, and I gotta say, Disney, you're saying that there's no stories about Star Wars that you can pull from, you dumbasses. Stuff like this would make great sequels to Solo, where you're just taking little bits from the old Legends now Legends EU canon and like just twist it a little bit. Like great stories that could be made a little bit better with better writing, and it would fit in with previous editions, the first Solo film and stuff, and it would just seem to, I feel like it would scratch an itch that everyone's complaining about. I don't want to have the Skywalker saga anymore. I want to do independent stories. Bitch, those stories are there.
Right. And the thing is, like, there's so much about this that they could pretty much rip off the entirety of it, and it wouldn't change modern canon and Legends one fucking bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, it's serialized adventures that don't matter. You don't need a time frame or a time period. Like, you just do it, and everybody's gonna be like, yeah,
it's just fun. It's good, stupid fun. And Han Solo in this novel just gets a little bit crazier and crazier, because first he took this horrible job because it would give him 10K credits. And he's like, okay, this is great. And then he finds out his slavers is like, fuck you, I'm out. And they're like, I don't think so, Tim. Like, up gunpoint, force him back onto the Falcon, bring all the slaves in. Him and Chewie are pretty much SOL. And if it wasn't for Blue Max, they would be SOL. But because they do like the most
fucking hero, man.
Comedic fucking saving the day move of like putting out, what was it? It was flame retardant foam or something like that. It was this ridiculous spray that you would think in like a slapstick comedy or something.
Oh yeah, 100%. It's like, I got total Home Alone vibes during that fucking
yes.
Like just waiting for a paint can to come flying from the rafters and take one of the slavers down.
That'd be dope. But they end up like turning the tables, getting all the slaves off there, kicking, like, if not killing, then getting rid of the slavers. And they're like, we still deserve that money.
Right? Yeah. Like, they straight up fucking off Zlarb, which is the mastermind, or I guess at least the head of this slaver ring. Yeah. And they keep his information because, of course, the idea is that they're going to, oh fuck, what was the name of the planet?
Was it a mood?
Amund or mood, whatever. Yes, they end up going to this planet, and they've got Zlarb. I think it's Zlarb. There we go. Anyways, they got that kid's contact information because he's going to drop off and meet up with these people. Yeah. And they're like, fuck it. We still owe this, or they owe us this fucking money. We're going to show up. We're going to strong arm. We're going to get the money we're deserved. And then it doesn't happen.
Yeah. So they get to the bar, they're hanging out, waiting for the contact to come into the booth that's sort of like designated the meeting booth. A lady comes in and just sort of strong arms the attendant or this, I don't know, the waiter, maitre d' or something, into sitting down there. And so he sends Chewie off to go check on the ship, and he's like, I'm going to do a little schmoozing with the lady. And first of all, I make fun of Han Solo a lot because I do think he's kind of a goofy character, but I really like him, and I think
he gets the results.
Yeah,
most of the time,
in some measure of a way, it ends up working out kind of. Yeah, and I kind of like that because he's not the typical superhero action star. I mean, I just always have this image in my head from the original Star Wars film of him going with Chewie's like, you two get back to the ship. We'll take care of these guys. Chasing stormtroopers around the Death Star, and they come up to a huge battalion of them. They're like, fuck this guy! And they just start running away. It's just like, that's Han Solo. And so we know that going in, he's going to try to smooze this girl. We know it's going to go south somehow. And he doesn't disappoint.
No, not at all.
We can always count on it.
The waiter, man, that shit was so fucking funny. It's like, it's so terrible because I've seen shit like that in real life where I've almost had to fight people.
Oh, geez.
Like, okay, here's a little way back in the day story. We're at the Capitol, and they have some ADA people working there, and the one guy that's working the register for the cafeteria is a blind guy. So essentially, you tell him how much you have. He takes the bills, types it in, gives you the change, like it announces the change, and he gives it. I was seeing motherfuckers get like $20 worth of food, hand him a dollar bill, and then get change from it. And it's like, wow, you're a fucking terrible human being. Yeah. I hope your entire family gets AIDS and your dick falls off. But at least in this case, it was fucking funny. Like, this is my first day, guys. You all look the same and smell the same. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, see, that's a different guy. That's a different waiter.
Oh no, I know the waiter.
Yeah, that guy was amazing. I agree with you.
Hilarious.
Holy shit.
Never was quite able to get a mental picture of what he looked like the way it was described.
Yeah, same here. I couldn't.
And it's like I could have looked it up, but I didn't want to. It's like I like the idea of just like an amorphous blob trying to have a job in space.
So his name was Sleejee, Slgee or Slgee or however you want to pronounce those weird consonant and vowels together. But like not being able to tell at all. Why are you a waiter? Why are you doing this job? It makes no sense that you would even agree to do this job, let alone last longer than a night. And he's like, I'm so sorry. This happened to me before. They ran out on the bill and I couldn't tell the difference. So, I'm just trusting you to do the right thing here. He's talking to Han Solo.
Yeah.
He's like, man, I'm going to definitely do the right thing after I get this $10K for smuggling slaves that I didn't smuggle from this chick.
Yeah, and it's so funny, too, because he's getting ready to fuck off. Like, he's giving her this whole story of, that's somebody else, man. We just got here. So the fucking, oh my God, Fiola, like, basically smacks him and pays for it. It's like, you're an asshole. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I really liked her. What's her name, Fiola?
Yeah.
I'm trying to find her in my list, and I can't find her.
Yeah, it's Fiola.
She is, she turns out to be amazing. Like, I really like her character a lot.
Yeah, and the way it ends, too, it's like, man, I saw that coming, but at the same time, it's like you hope that it's not going to happen. Because ultimately, she's, she was an auditor for the Corporate Sector Authority. Yeah. So she's sort of like the person that pursues, like, inside jobs and finds corruption and shit in the corporate sector. So she knows who the fuck he is, but she's also like, look, I'm trying to bust the motherfuckers that kidnapped you, so I'm going to work with you, and I'm just going to forget that you're on the most wanted list right now.
Yeah.
And maybe if we can get out of this shit, I'll kind of forgive you and we'll kind of get rid of the paperwork.
Yeah, the whole thing was really strange because it was like this cat and mouse sort of cloak and dagger setup, but both of them were looking for the wrong person in each other. Like they thought they were the other slaver mastermind or a slaver to do the handoff, realizing that they're not actually that person. They decide to work together in some way. And I always thought it was really interesting because it was just like a whole bunch of hijinks happening all at once. So there was the actual bad guys who saw these two idiots and they're like, first of all, we need to kill her because she's an agent. We need to get the slaves from this idiot because they think he's Larb because they don't fucking know who Larb is. And so they go to the Falcon. They're trying to break into the Falcon. Chewie finds this dude trying to break into the Falcon, and the dude is like a tap dancing mastermind of Wookiee confusion because he convinces Chewie that he's actually a ship reclaimer or
he was basically a repossessor.
Unbelievable, but he was actually working with Fiola as an agent trying to capture the slavers. He thought the slaves were inside.
No. So that was actually, what was his name? Mag. So Mag was her second in command.
Right. So he tried to break in first.
Yeah.
And he failed.
But then it was the little guy, Sparky, Slappy, something like that. Looking through the notes right now.
I am too. I can't even see it in my. It was Vinda. No.
It was something with an S. I thought I had it written down.
Spray.
That's right. That's
Spray.
Right.
So he said he was an interstellar collections agent, but his actual name is Odaman, and he was part of the Espo, and he was the one that was working with Fiola in order to try to get the slaver ring. But he completely convinced And he attacked Han too. Like tried to put some crazy.
Yeah, which we find out at the end.
Yeah. So good.
Let's see. I would want him to reprise the Solo role, Chris. Like I fucking liked him. I thought he was great as Han Solo, young Han Solo.
Yeah, I think I can't even think of the fucking word. I'm sorry. I was on a mountain all day. I'm sunburnt to shit. I'm just exhausted this moment. But I thought the job that he did, if he would have done it more than once, people who complained would have just swallowed their fucking complaints and just accepted it.
100%. The second movie, they would have been telling everybody that they were on board from the first movie.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Like, it would have been immediate backtracking because he was fucking great.
Yeah. And just the setting and the story was good. And so I think everything would have come together. And it's hard to get Harrison Ford out of your mind about anything. But actors play different roles all the time, and different actors play the same role. Look at James fucking Bond. So people are too precious.
Well, and I hate it too because it's like there's so many examples of how it was done right, and they didn't even get people that they tried to make it look exactly like the same person. Like probably aside from Solo, of course, like one of my favorite examples is fucking Dr. Sleep. Henry Thomas plays Jack Nicholson. Like,
he was good.
On no planet would you buy that was Jack Nicholson reprising a role from the 70s. But yeah, fucking eat it up. Like people are just idiots. That's really all it was.
I gotta watch that movie again. That was so good.
Oh my God. The director's cut. Man, if you guys haven't seen it, I mean, because of course we're talking Star Wars, so let's talk Mike Flanagan. Because at some point, Mike Flanagan, before I die, he needs to get a fucking Star Wars horror movie.
Death Troopers.
If he did Death Troopers or even fucking Red Harvest, like
or both.
Oh God, don't tease me like that. Jesus Christ. I ain't changed.
About to deep throw that hammer again.
Yeah, right. I'll be double fisting some hammers. Like I really think it would have been a success. Like they could have easily done a trilogy of Solo movies, and it probably would have outplayed the final 3 Skywalker films.
Yeah, for sure.
But
anyway, let's get back to this book.
Well, okay, and that's the sad thing. Like there really isn't too much. They get kicked out of one place and go to a different place on that same planet, and then that's when they get caught up in the slavers, and then they go to this planet with the slavers, and then they get separated, and we find out how much of a badass Blue Max and Bollux are, like defending the Falcon, understanding the Falcon, and like Blue Max,
they're awesome
for only having like one arm, basically. Like he has an armature that comes out or whatever. I can't fucking talk today.
It's down here.
Yeah, mine's just like his. It's small and it's broken, and whatever. It doesn't really do much. But like they fucking do a lot. Like they protect shit. I mean, granted, the Falcon is of course like as Spark's going through, we kind of find out what all the Falcon has. Like a whole bunch of illegal shit, a whole bunch of experimental military shit.
I wanted to touch on that too. I love the fact that they made a point to say you can't just fly to a planet and land wherever you want.
Yeah.
Like there are laws in place for because I used to play the old West End game, role-playing game, and then I played the Star Wars Saga system role-playing game. And that would be our biggest complaint. Like, why don't we just fucking land somewhere? Who gives a fuck? It's the middle of a planet. Like, just land. I don't understand why you fly to a spaceport, travel hours out of town, and then just fly to the fucking point. But now we know why. Because it's fucking illegal, and you will go to prison. And I love the fact they bring up the illegal parts, too, because that's another thing that you're just like, well, who fucking cares? No, they care because they scan your shit.
Important, yeah. I mean, the thing is, we even get that in the first fucking movie, kind of. Because they have to have the proper transponder codes to get access to the fucking military base. I mean, it's just like if you had your own private plane and you decided to fly into an airport, but your fucking radio's off and shit. The second you touch down, there's going to be fucking firefighters. There's going to be police, and you're getting arrested, and your shit's getting towed because it's illegal.
Yeah. I just loved that aspect of it because
it made it real.
It didn't hammer it home in the movies as much for me. And these two novels, the first one of this and then this one, both really did like hammer it home, and I just really appreciate that because it just adds a little context to the galaxy.
Well, and it also showed the risk with doing that as well. Like when Spray and Chewie are out in the middle of the fucking woods waiting for Han.
Yeah,
like there's a reason you don't land in the middle of the woods. Like, yeah, sure, you're gonna be hidden, but guess what? You're gonna get stampeded by a bunch of space buffalo, pretty much.
That was great.
That was great. I will say, and of course we'll get to it, but that was probably one of my least favorite things about the book. Not the scenario, not the situation, not the outcome, but the fact that the dude spends almost a chapter describing Chewbacca making a fucking oh my god, why can't I think of what it's called now? The fucking rich white people do them off the point of the mountain.
Skiing?
No, not skiing.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The glider thing.
Oh yeah, the glider.
The whatever.
That was ridiculous.
Like, I get it. Like, and you understand, as soon as that fucker lands and Chewie's like, oh, I gotta get down somehow, but I can't go over the fucking 6-legged buffalo. You kind of understand, oh, okay, yeah, he's got a bunch of metal with him. He's gonna fucking turn it into a glider. But he spends almost a chapter, step by step, how Chewie breaks down this animal, uses the corpse as like the wing apparatus.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, so Chewbacca is a Wookiee. And I understand this is like personal bias because I did have to constantly tell myself when reading this is before Empire Strikes Back. Yep. This is after Star Wars, just Star Wars, not A New Hope yet, but Star Wars came out. Yep. So I have to remind myself that the Kashyyyk or like the Wookiee mythology and all that shit, like that's not around yet. Mm-hmm. But you look at a beast like that, and it's clearly a fucking hunter. But yet, as he's building this glider, he's like, "Ew, gross! Blood and guts are falling on me." No,
you're a goddamn animal, man.
Yeah,
like this is normal to you. It should be anyway,
right? Yeah, that was a little weird to me.
Yeah, I mean, this was released October 12, 1979, so this was really close to the original film. Mm-hmm. The first three, this is the third of the first three novels that we are reviewing, and like none of the rules or anything was really set at this point. There was no West End games at this point, so no exploration of alien species or anything. This was just the writers doing their own thing, just having fun. I thought the hang glider scene was the worst part about this entire novel. I think it was a little bit too Ewok for me. It was just
100%
fucking dumb. And I liked the idea of Chewbacca on a glider for the first time and the hijinks that would ensue. But I don't know. It felt really weird and out of place. And if he was so uncomfortable doing it, how would he know how to do it? Mm-hmm. You can't just skin an animal and glide. Like, that does not work.
Yeah, you got to have a whole lot of metal with you. You got to understand aerodynamics and construction.
Fucking lift. And, like, there's like, I can't imagine in any universe that ever working, even one far, far away. But.
Well, it's so funny, too, because it's all shit that he took to set up a fucking camera, essentially, so that he could keep an eye over the mountain, because they're just like in a little valley or whatever. So he could keep an eye out for when Han Solo somehow finds him. Mm. Which that's one thing. Admittedly, I read this usually at like, 12, 1 in the morning. May or may not have been on certain things. So I feel like I missed either how Chewbacca knew Han was going to find him, or if that happened. Like if it was ever explained how he was going to find him.
Right. Chewbacca was hedging his bets.
Okay.
And so was Han. I mean, they were both trying their best, and that's why it took so long to get them together. And that's why Han and Fiola got all like brought into like the weird, like the royal family of that planet and their shenanigans and stuff too. But just to sort of distill to that point, so Fiola and Han are attempted to be assassinated by Fiola's co-worker Mag, her like secretary, who is actually the slaver that she doesn't know about. Yeah. So he tries to kill them both. They escape. They tell Chewbacca to get the fuck off planet, and so they drag the supposed collector repo guy with him. So he's like, look, you can have it if we don't, work this out. If we do work it out, then we'll pay it off for you, and you don't have to worry about it. So they go to the planet first, to the slaver planet. Then Fiala and Han take civilian transport, which of course takes much longer because they got to go all around and fucking everywhere. They go to a station first.
Luxury yacht.
Yeah. So, and then that's attacked and sort of stopped by Mag, who is also still trying to find supposedly Zlarb, because Mag is apparently a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
And then they get in an escape pod and they fucking get to the planet they're trying to get to finally.
Well, you're skipping over a great thing though. So it's not just an escape pod. So when the pirates, because they board under the guise of pirates, when they board, everybody fucks off the pirate vessel and is on the space yacht. So then they're like, fuck this, let's get the hell out of here, and hop on the space yacht. And there's only like 2 or 3 guards on there. They fuck them up, and then still an escape boat from there, because all the boats on the yacht are locked off because the captain was a fucking weenie.
That's pretty.
But yeah, that shit was pretty fucking cool.
Oh man, it's weird because all this stuff is like flooding back from having read it in my mind, and like even the synopsis doesn't really contextualize everything.
No, not at all.
So it's just, it was actually really entertaining, I think. I mean, like, I liked that moment. It felt very like there were, it was like every train heist ever, you know. I just felt like that's the kind of vibe they were getting with that scene.
Oh yeah.
And I liked it.
Especially with Han Solo, because like again, this is all before we got the understanding of what Han Solo is, but he's just like, oh yeah, I know this ship front to left, like it's cool, we're gonna go this way, then hop in this one, and then go this way, and then we're gonna fuck the hell off. And it's just like, yeah, of course Han Solo knows fucking ship plans like the back of his hand. He's such a badass.
Yeah. I also like how they refer to like the leader of, well, first of all, they added this idea on this planet of like different clans, different sort of organizations that all work in unison in order to, work for the corporate security sector, and everyone gets a little taste in the process, business-wise, credit-wise. And how the Morglade was the name of the like a leader of one of the clans who was sort of in charge of the spaceport, and that's who Han Solo needed to talk to as soon as they got on planet. Originally, of course, he was just looking for Chewie. But the droid just acted like a droid and then just showed up out of nowhere.
God, that was so fucking awesome. Like, nobody's going to suspect a droid. And he's like, shit, all right, how the hell do I get there? Ah, yes, this box. I'll just pick it up and take it. And nobody even thinks about it. Like, and if you took 5 seconds to think about it, every other droid is getting the fuck out of there because there's like an arrest or whatever going on. Nope, nobody bats an eye. He just sneaks onto the ship. And, if you guys remember from the first review, like Bollux is a very rudimentary droid. Yeah. Like, there's no stealth behind him. Yeah. There's no sneaking, like nothing. He's just a big, boxy motherfucker. And he just sneaks onto a ship like, whatever, I belong here.
In my head, I see him as, remember at the end of Aliens when Ripley gets in that big lifter machine and she battles the mother alien?
Oh, yeah, I mean...
I imagine like a small version of that is what Bollux looks like.
That's what I'm going to think of him as now. I didn't
so
before,
that
but
or
now
a
that's
pair of hairy balls. It's one of the two.
It's both.
The lift loader has hairy balls hanging down.
Yeah.
They're like fuzzy balls, like dice.
Fuck yeah.
Truck nuts. All right. So anyway, like he helps get them out of the situation. They talk like there's supposed to be like a shootout with like a straight up fucking killer gunslinger.
Yeah.
And this waif of a kid who happened to, upset the wrong person. And of course, it's a setup to kill him with this sort of rival clan situation going. And Han just steps in, doesn't want to do it, but Fiala convinces him. And I guess because she has boobs, he was like, okay.
I mean,
because he didn't want to do it.
Checks out.
And he did it. She was just like, look, if you live, you'll have your money because I'll pay. And he was like, I'm going to die. I don't want to die. I choose life. Fuck, okay, you have boobs.
Right.
I'll do it. And then the gunslinger's like, this is not as easy of a kill as I thought it would be, and it's not the right guy. So you know what? Sorry about pissing you off, slapping your fucking sister. Like, it wasn't even something like a breach of etiquette. He straight up, like, pimp slapped her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and because the younger brother of the sister was like, you're a cunt. They're like, oh, well, clearly you broke the clan etiquette, so now you guys have to fucking kill each other.
Yeah. It's a very sophisticated planet here.
Very sophisticated.
But Galandro was the off-world gunslinger, and I thought he was dope.
Yeah, I cannot wait for the next book to see how his character plays out.
I hope he's got to be in it. The way they ended this.
He was, honestly, I was getting fucking Mad Cad Bane vibes from him. So I really hope that's how he's going to turn out.
100%. And I like, the Solo, even in horrible situations, like he drew on Darth Vader. Not at the sake the timeline of this book yet, but like that's the kind of guy Solo is. He doesn't really care. He's going to do what he's got to do.
Yeah, shoot first, think last.
He saw this guy. He was like, "Oh shit, like this is a real man."
Yeah,
I'm just pretending. Fuck, I'm gonna die. I thought it was so great, and just like how Han and Galandro were sort of sizing each other up the whole time, and they weren't really putting on airs or anything. It was just like, no, this is like Old West. This is, we're going to fucking go down if we have to go down. And it's not going to turn out well for one of you. And Galandro is like, he respects the code of like the gunslinger. Like, cause there's one point where Han Solo gets the upper hand on him. Like mags, like it was like a magnetic something that like, I can't remember. He like did something to the hand of the gunslinger that he would normally draw from. Mm-hmm. And so he couldn't draw from that hand, and Han was like, "Do you still want to draw?"
he got it was basically like getting tased, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's it. That was it. He made it go numb, so he couldn't use it because he's of course trying to like stop him from fucking being able to kill him.
Yeah,
and like the gunslinger was like, "No, I think you got me. you won this round. All right, Solo. In the future, let's do it again, though. All right."
It's so fucking so smooth, just like whatever. Next time round, I'll fucking kill you.
So this gunslinger is just working for the Espos because he was hired to. Like, and that's the reality of this entire galaxy that we all have to understand is that this is a working man's galaxy. If you can't find a job, you're gonna have to take a job that's not great because everyone's got to eat. Everyone needs their 10,000 credits to fix the Falcon. Everyone. Right. So, like, this gunslinger is no different. So he doesn't like that he's working with the Espos, but he doesn't really have much of a choice at this point because it's safe, reliable work. And because he's so good, people usually don't step to him like Han did.
Yeah, because, of course, he doesn't care.
He doesn't think.
He's got fucking smuggler's luck, man.
Yeah. That's the other thing that I love that they keep hammering home, how lucky Han is. Mm-hmm. And yeah, that's part of the makeup of the character, and that's why it was such an important aspect of the role-playing game when that was out. Is that like?
Well, fuck, even like video games that he's in, like Battlefront, shit like that. Like that is an aspect of his character.
It's great. I just love it so much because it explains away the fact that he's not great at everything, but he still accomplishes things.
Yeah,
he's just a lucky motherfucker. That's it. Anyway, it ended up where Han Solo, after he was informed about them actually being Espo and trying to get the slavers, and he sort of worked around by revealing the slavers by accident, by almost being killed by them.
Yeah.
That he was like going to then go to prison for having committed all of these crimes that he clearly committed in the process of trying to get the 10,000 credits that he wasn't even owed in the first place. And then he takes a hostage in order to get away from the Espos in the form of Fiola after he disables the gunslinger, sends them off in one direction, disables their ship, and then just flies off with the Falcon and the girl. He's like, you'll get her back later. Like,
yeah.
Han Solo, you scoundrel.
Right.
This is why we love you.
Well, and then the biggest thing, like at the end, is just how the tables turn, because it comes out that Spray is that one name that you said. Like he's the overlord. He's a part of the corporate sector. Like he's just undercover type of shit.
Man, yeah. Odoman.
And Odoman. There we go. And there comes a point when he's alone with Fiola and is like, look, man, I know what you've been doing for us and I fucking respect you. Come work for me and you're not going to be this. You're going to meet your full potential. He does the whole emperor thing with her, and there's like that split second where you're like, no, man, she's gonna see through this bullshit. She's been with Han this whole fucking time. She gets it. And then that's how it ends, is those two are fucking off to the ship, and they're just Chewie and Han, was it Mag that they kidnapped?
No, I thought it was Viola that they kidnapped. Like,
no, she went off with Spray at the end.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
you sure? Because I thought Mag got killed.
Mag did get killed because he got thrown out the airlock.
It's been yeah.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, I'm trying to remember. Or no, it was Zlarb that went out the airlock.
Zlarb.
Yeah, I just read this
you should remember this.
12 hours ago.
Come on.
I guess like 18 hours ago, whatever. I already forgot because it was like 2 a.m. when I finished.
Well,
but it was such a turn because like Viola is like, she's going off with the bad guys and she doesn't see that the bad guys. And that's how they're going to set up the next book.
I think it's going to be great. Actually, the more we talk about this, the more I realize I do enjoy it. It's not the greatest.
It is definitely one of those ones where reading it was a chore.
Yeah.
Kind of. I mean, it was fun. It was fun, but it wasn't great.
Yeah.
But of course, thinking about the main points of it, it's like, okay, that wasn't that bad. I've read way worse Star Wars.
Yeah.
But it definitely leads into like, an exciting ending for this trilogy.
I hope so. I really did enjoy the first novel.
Mm-hmm.
This one, again, like you mentioned, it was a bit of a slog to get through. I mean, there was moments that I really enjoyed it, and there's moments where I was just like, all right, come on, let's just fucking finish this chapter.
And the funny thing is, too, it's a short read. It was just a little over 200 pages.
It was way short, but it felt
it wasn't even that long. Yeah, and this is like the shortest part of the book, and it was a chore.
Yeah. So definitely read it, people.
Yeah, no, it's worth it. It's absolutely worth it.
Like, it has some really great stuff in it.
Yeah, like the funny shit that happens in here is funny enough that I actually laughed out loud while I was reading. So it's, if for nothing else, there's that.
Yeah, that waiter made me laugh out loud.
That shit was pretty funny.
And when Han Solo, they just get up and walk out, dine and dash, and the dude walks right up to them. And he's like, hey, you still need to pay this. He's like, no, that wasn't us. We haven't even been seated yet.
And it's so funny, too, because you get a lot of the inner dialogue of that waiter. Like, he's making a point of smelling them so he can remember that smell. Because presumably that's how he sees, is through smell. That he bumps into him. And I got to imagine Han Solo doesn't smell good.
No way.
Like, Lando Calrissian, you look at him, he lives kind of the same lifestyle, but that motherfucker smells good. Han Solo hangs out with a Wookiee 24/7, and Wookiees don't bathe because it's against their, in Legends, it was against their basically religion, credo, whatever. So you got to imagine
he's an animal.
Terrible.
Yeah. I imagine Han Solo probably smells like a mix between like a bear, just from proximity of Chewbacca, and a used condom. Like, I feel like he's got like a rubber tinge.
So he smells like a bear and a bear.
Touche. Look at this guy. It was great. I don't know. It was a fun read. It wasn't the greatest read, and I did sort of at moments feel like, fuck me. Why am I doing this? But then there's other moments where I was just like, ha ha, like doing the fucking Simpsons laugh. So, what's your favorite part of this book?
Oh, man. Definitely the beginning. That shit was so fucking funny when they started rioting. Ugh. Like, that's the kind of stupid shit that's only going to happen to this kind of character.
Yeah.
Like, he's thinking he's making a quick buck. He's thinking they're just enjoying it because, oh, fuck, look at all this water. It's great. And unwittingly starts a fucking religion.
So stupid.
That was so damn funny. Like, that alone was worth reading it.
Yeah.
Like, the first couple of chapters, that was worth this book.
Him trying to get away from them, like, just now thinking about it, reminded me of the beginning of Raiders of the Lost Ark. When he's running away from the primitives.
100%.
Like, start the plane! Just diving into the river. Oh, god damn, it was good. My most favorite part, I love Blue Max and Bollux. Like, thought they were smart. They thought on their feet. They constantly question choices, orders given to them, and they care. And this is the crazy thing about Han Solo is he hates droids. I don't know why he hates droids. He doesn't trust them for some reason. He's not the Mandalorian, so I don't get why he hates droids. But he's just never trusted them. I feel like they threw in an aside and explained it, but I just don't remember what it is.
Yeah, I don't remember either if they did.
But the fact is he likes these two because they're smart and they think on their feet. And he begrudgingly comes to respect them.
And they're such perfect Star Wars droids because the perfect droids are a couple, minus Mr. Bones.
Oh, he's amazing. Mr. Bones is amazing. Arguably the best part about Disney's buyout of Lucasfilm.
Yeah, besides Solo, yeah, definitely. Rogue One. Rogue One.
Yeah, Rogue One's. Yeah, that's true. That's true. If Mr. Bones shows up in Andor, I'm going to have a Mr. Bone of my own.
Yeah, 100%. It'll probably never function again without watching Mr. Bones.
For that, just really quick, for those of you who don't know, Mr. Bones is a battle droid turned assassin.
Yeah.
Literally using the bones of enemies and droid parts, and so he looks like a vulture with a vulture head. He looks like an insane murdering machine.
Yeah,
and he enjoys it.
If you want to get a dumbed down version of what he looks like, I mean, one, you should read the Aftermath trilogy. Yeah. You will not be disappointed, except when it ends and you realize what could have been.
Yeah.
But if you want to see, all you got to do is look up the Skywalker Saga, the Lego trilogy, or the Lego Skywalker Saga, because Mr. Bones is a playable character in it.
Really?
Yeah, dude.
I haven't unlocked that.
Well, I mean, it's cheat code, but whatever.
That's amazing.
Yeah. I pretty much stopped playing the story just so I could fuck around as Mr. Bones. It's pretty awesome.
I gotta see what this cheat code is. That's amazing. Okay.
Yeah, I'll look it up and send it your way.
Yeah. Least favorite.
Like I said, man, that the glider scene.
Yeah.
It was stupid. Yes. But the problem that I had, and it's just, again, it's my own personal bias understanding what Wookiees are canonically now. Yeah. But his going, ew, as blood and shit's coming out of a corpse that he, it's talking about how he brutally fucking killed this guy. It blew his fucking head off, and it goes into detail of this creature losing the top of its fucking head. But he's getting all grossed out because he's getting some blood on his paws. And it's no, he's fucking not.
Yeah.
It's I just imagine Chewie just, it's dripping on my hand.
Dude, he rips people's arms off. That's what Wookiees are known for.
Right?
And he's going to be delicate about a wild beast?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here. Yeah, that's my least favorite too. Fuck that.
Yeah.
No, I don't like it. I'm just erasing it from my brain right now. All right. Anything else you wanted to talk about with this?
No, man, we caught it. It was a pretty light read.
Do you think people should read it?
Yeah, hell yeah. Just we haven't read the last one yet, so I don't know how good that is. But the first one was really good.
Yeah.
So I would imagine this. You have to read it as a transitional.
And it's got good parts to it. So
it does have really good parts.
Keep that
good
in
parts
mind.
And good characters.
Yeah, 100%. All right.
Plus, it's short, so if you don't like it, it's pretty short.
It's gonna be over pretty quick.
Right. Yeah.
Well, thank you all so much for tuning in. We appreciate your time, and of course, let us know if you've read this, what you liked about it. Did you agree with us on our points, or do you disagree? Let us know in the comments below. We'd always love to hear from you. Always remember that you can pick up Infernal Brotherhood apparel with the link in the description below. There's some pretty kick-ass designs that you can adorn yourself. We don't have any Speedos yet.
We got to go back to Mexico at some point. We got to be dressed right.
That's true. Well, until the Infernal Brotherhood convenes again, my fellow scruffy-looking nerve herders, may the force be with you.
Was I born this stupid, or am I blossoming late in life? Best line in the entire book.
Good.
I've never found a Star Wars quote that I've related more to.
Blossoming late in life.